Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to discuss the challenging moment that Pep Guardiola and Manchester City are facing in the 2024-25 season. With the pressure for positive results in the league and the Champions League, City must make important decisions for the future. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to follow everything about Manchester City and what's coming this season. See you next time. Manchester City, after a start to the season below expectations, see their manager Pep Guardiola in a rare situation of defeat. The team, far from the brilliance expected, have already suffered 8 losses in 11 matches. The Spanish coach does not hide his frustration after facing yet another setback, this time against rivals Manchester United, who turned the match around in the final minutes with 2 goals. "I knew from the start that the season would be difficult, but I didn't imagine it would be this hard," said Guardiola in a press conference, visibly downcast. "I'm the manager of these players, of this club, and my role is to find solutions. So far, I haven't managed to. That's the truth," he added, admitting that he hasn't been good enough to reverse the team's performance. In the Premier League, City sit in 5th place with 27 points, 9 behind leaders Liverpool, who have a game in hand. In the Champions League, the situation is even more concerning, with only 8 points in 6 rounds, placing Guardiola's team in 22nd place, making it nearly impossible to secure a direct spot in the round of 16. Meanwhile, rivals Manchester United are positioning themselves as a growing force, taking crucial points from City and reinforcing their dominance over their neighbors. Guardiola, visibly dejected, admits his team is at a crossroads, where they urgently need reinforcements and strategic changes to avoid a greater disaster this season. The signing of new players, such as Paul Pogba, appears essential for the team, who are seeking to revitalize their midfield. The arrival of Pogba at Manchester City could be the necessary step to revive the team's hopes. The French player, who shone at Manchester United, is free on the market following a doping suspension in 2023. His return to English football has been a topic of major speculation, with Corinthians being his most desired destination. However, the British newspaper The Independent reported that Pogba could join City for a new phase in his European career. The ease of the deal and the need for pinpoint reinforcements in midfield have made City the main candidate. Pogba's history with United is a factor working against his signing, but the financial offer and the opportunity to play alongside Memphis Depay, his former teammate, could be motivating. "I'd play for free alongside Memphis Depay," Pogba stated in an interview. His willingness to join the Dutch striker, who is also of interest to Corinthians, is a clear sign of his desire to remain in Europe and continue competing in major tournaments. Pogba's suspension ends in March 2025, and City hope he can be a key piece in the remainder of the season, especially in the pursuit of titles like the Premier League and the Champions League. While rumors about Pogba dominate headlines, the future of Florian Wirtz, another midfielder coveted by clubs such as Real Madrid and Bayern Munich, seems to be moving further away from Manchester City. Wirtz, just 21 years old, is on the verge of renewing his contract with Bayer Leverkusen until 2028, signaling that he won't be leaving the Bundesliga anytime soon. Wirtz's decision is a blow to City's plans to build an even more competitive squad, particularly with the intention of bringing in young talents who can build long-term success. The renewal of Wirtz's contract with Leverkusen, despite pressure from major European clubs, demonstrates the players' and the club's determination not to part with a European football gem so soon. With 11 goals across all competitions this season, Wirtz has been instrumental to Leverkusen's success, who sit second in the Bundesliga, just 4 points behind Bayern Munich. The decision to remain in Germany for another season not only benefits the club financially, but also ensures Wirtz continues his development in an environment where he is the main focus. For Manchester City, the news that Wirtz will stay at Leverkusen brings an urgent need for alternatives in the transfer market. With Ilkay Gundogan's departure and Kevin De Bruyne's prolonged injury, Guardiola's team must find a new source of creativity in midfield. The pursuit of Pogba and other options reflects this need. But City face challenges in attracting the best talents while fighting for a spot in the next phase of the Champions League. City's stagnation this season can be seen as a temporary setback or as a sign of a deeper problem in Guardiola's management. The pressure is mounting for him to find solutions, both on and off the pitch, to keep the team competitive. Pogba's arrival, if realized, would be an important step in City's reinvention. But the manager knows he needs more than new players to transform his team's performance. Pogba's impact at City, should he decide to join the club, will be crucial for Guardiola's future. With the signing of the French midfielder, City hope not only to strengthen their midfield, but also to increase competitiveness in all the tournaments they compete in. Pogba brings international experience and a unique ability to control the game, something City have lacked with injuries and the departures of some of their most influential players. At the same time, Wirtz's decision to remain at Leverkusen makes it clear that City need a more proactive approach in the transfer market. Negotiations with Pogba, considering his history and interest from other major clubs, show that City are willing to spend to maintain their elite status in European football. However, the Spanish manager knows that the arrival of players alone is not enough. A tactical and strategic adjustment is necessary to maximize the potential of his squad. With the season nearing its end, and City fighting for a spot in European competitions, Guardiola must act quickly to find the answers that will prevent even greater disappointment at the season's conclusion. The pressure he faces is not only for results, but also to adapt a playing style that better suits the players at his disposal. The complexity of modern football demands flexibility and adaptability, something Guardiola knows well but has yet to demonstrate successfully this season. After Florian Wirtz's decision to remain at Bayer Leverkusen for another season, Manchester City find themselves at a crossroads in their search for talents that can elevate the team's level. The situation requires a more detailed analysis of the options available in the transfer market and a critical evaluation of how these new players can integrate into Guardiola's style of play. The need to find quick and effective solutions to City's problems becomes even more urgent, especially as the team struggles to recover in the league and prepare for the second phase of the Champions League. Guardiola knows that time is running out and that any misjudgment could be costly, not just financially but also in terms of credibility. The pressure on the Spanish manager comes from all sides, from the board to the fans, who expect to see better performances and more consistent results. The arrival of players like Pogba may be a necessary step to reverse the current situation, but it does not solve all of City's problems. The team needs to find a way to balance the need for new talent with the consistency that has been lacking in recent matches. As City prepare for the transfer market, there are a number of challenges that need to be overcome. The club must adapt to a new financial scenario, resulting from complications involving UEFA's financial fair play and the need to balance the books. This complexity affects not only signings, but also the way City need to manage their current talents, such as Phil Foden and Jack Grealish, who have yet to fully meet expectations following their signings. Guardiola's strategy to resolve these problems involves tactical adjustments and a shift in approach to the development of young players. The Spanish manager understands that integrating new talent can be complicated if there is no clear structure of play and a philosophy that is easily understood by all team members. The lack of a strong midfield, especially with Kevin De Bruyne's prolonged absence, has put even more pressure on City's system, requiring rapid adaptations. Pogba's decision could be the difference that City need to achieve consistency and quality in midfield. His ability to create plays and his experience in major competitions are seen as the perfect complement to Guardiola's style of play. However, the manager knows that Pogba's arrival is not a guarantee of immediate success. He will have to adjust his system to make the most of the French players' abilities, which may mean significant changes in how City operate on the pitch. The prospect of Pogba arriving also signals a more optimistic future for City. But the current reality is that the team still needs more pieces to reach the level of the best European clubs. The defense in particular has been a weak point, with individual errors costing crucial points. Defending the Premier League title is becoming increasingly distant, and the focus now is on securing a place in European competitions for next season. Pogba's future at City is not just a matter of technical ability, but also of leadership and influence within the squad. The Frenchman has already shown that he can be a key player in critical moments, such as during his successful spell at United, where he was a protagonist on several occasions. For Guardiola, the addition of a player with this experience could be the push needed to lift the team's morale and give more confidence to young players like Rico Lewis and Cole Palmer. At the same time, City cannot afford any mistakes in their transfer policy. Recent signings, such as Jack Grealish and Erling Haaland, are still in the process of adapting. Pogba's arrival must be accompanied by other measures to ensure that City are not dependent on a single star to achieve their goals. The balance between experience and youth, between a solid defense and creative attack, will be crucial for City's success in the 2024-25 season. Pogba's story with Manchester City will not be an easy one to write. His rivalry with United and his history of injuries are factors that need to be carefully considered. However, with the 2024-25 season rapidly approaching, City must make quick and decisive decisions to avoid losing ground in one of the most competitive leagues in the world. The pressure is high for Guardiola and his squad, who need to prove that they still have what it takes to fight for titles. As City prepare for the transfer window, there are other issues that need to be resolved off the pitch. The club's financial situation, the implications of Pogba's suspension, and the need to maintain a young and promising core are complex challenges. Guardiola's management will need to be smarter than ever to ensure that all these pieces fit into place. Adapting to new UEFA rules and regulations could also affect City's plans, particularly when it comes to allocating resources for future signings. Wirtz's decision to stay at Leverkusen serves as a warning to City about the importance of investing in young talents who can develop internally. The need for a long-term vision becomes even more evident, especially when considering Wirtz's case, who was courted by clubs such as Real Madrid and Bayern Munich. His refusal to leave the Bundesliga to test the Premier League or La Liga shows that City need to continue investing in player development and in a structure that supports the growth of these athletes. For Guardiola, the issue is not just finding the right players, but also creating an environment where they can grow and develop. Pogba's experience at Manchester United can be an important lesson about what not to do when managing elite talents. City must ensure that Pogba's integration is done carefully, respecting the dynamics of the existing group and maximizing his abilities. The coming weeks will be crucial to adjusting Guardiola's planning and ensuring that City are ready to face the challenge of a long and demanding season. As City prepare for the second phase of the Champions League, the focus remains on securing a spot in the next round and avoiding slip-ups that could prove costly in terms of scheduling and physical wear. The fight for titles begins now, and Guardiola knows that any misstep could compromise the rest of the season. Pogba's arrival, or any other major signing, is seen as an attempt to recover lost time, but the real challenge is ensuring that these changes translate into success on the pitch. The pressure on Pep Guardiola is reflected in how he prepares for the second half of the 2024-25 season. The need for positive results becomes more pressing, especially with City in an unfavorable position in the league and with virtually no margin for error in the Champions League. Guardiola is aware that his tactical management and choice of players will be crucial for City's success in this final stretch. Pogba's adaptation to the style of play will be an important test of his ability to align the team and maximize the potential of his players. While City search for alternatives to strengthen their squad, there are a number of challenges that need to be addressed. The adaptation of players like Pogba and other potential reinforcements is not just a matter of technical skill, but also of integration into the existing group. Guardiola will have to manage egos, different styles of play, and adjust his tactics to ensure that new players feel comfortable and can perform at their best. Pogba's experience, with his history at United and his leadership ability, will be essential to help shape the winning culture that Guardiola seeks to establish at City. The arrival of Pogba, if confirmed, will not just be an addition of talent to City's midfield, but also a symbol of the club's effort to remain competitive among the giants of European football. The impact of his signing cannot be underestimated, as he will bring with him experience in top-level competitions, a quality that City need to make up for lost time and ensure a more successful end to the season. Guardiola knows that short-term success may depend on how he manages Pogba's adaptation and the efficient use of his skills within the team's context. As Manchester City prepare for the challenge of strengthening their squad, Florian Wirtz's future and the impact of his contract renewal with Bayer Leverkusen highlight the difficulty of attracting top talents to the Premier League. Wirtz opted to remain in the Bundesliga, where he is the center of attention and can continue his development as a player. This decision raises questions about what City need to do to become more attractive to players of this caliber. The recent lack of success in the Champions League, combined with inconsistent league performances, may be contributing to this difficulty. Wirtz's renewal with Leverkusen is a reminder that City cannot afford to focus solely on big names. It is necessary to invest in a long-term vision, where youth and talent can be developed internally. Guardiola needs to rethink his approach to the transfer market, focusing not just on players who may become stars, but also on a structure that allows young talents to grow and shine at their own pace. How City manage their academy and player development will become increasingly crucial as the club seeks long-term excellence. The match against Freiburg at the Bay Arena, where Bayer Leverkusen host Florian Wirtz's team, is seen as an opportunity for City to closely observe the young German talent. City will need to adapt their strategy not only to keep up with Wirtz's growth, but also to identify potential future targets in similar markets. Competition with clubs like Real Madrid and Bayern Munich shows how City need to be strategic in their signings, ensuring that each investment is made with purpose and a clear vision of the impact it will have on the club. For Guardiola, the need to make tactical adjustments is clear. He needs to transform City's squad into a team that can adapt to different styles of play and circumstances throughout the season. The ability to maintain possession and press opponents must be complemented by a solid defense and a midfield that can support both attack and defense. With Pogba, City hope to gain this balance, but adaptation will not be immediate. Guardiola's work in the coming months will be crucial to ensure that City are ready for the challenge of major competitions. As City prepare for the second half of the season, Guardiola's focus must be on building a team with depth and quality in all positions. The arrival of Pogba and other potential reinforcements should be seen as an attempt to fix shortcomings, but also as an opportunity to create a more robust and resilient team. The team's confidence will be tested in the coming weeks as City deal with the pressure of winning crucial matches and staying on a path that could lead to titles. Guardiola's decision to strengthen the midfield with Pogba also reflects a need for emotional and mental stability in the team. The pressure to win, especially in critical moments, can be overwhelming, and players with Pogba's experience are essential to help maintain balance. City need leadership on the pitch that can not only give tactical instructions, but also motivate players during difficult moments. Pogba's arrival, with his ability to influence games and lift team morale, could be the piece City need to reverse adverse situations. The 2024-25 season is far from over, and Guardiola knows that every decision he makes now will affect not only the end of this season, but also the club's future planning. The January transfer window may bring new opportunities for City, but it also represents an additional challenge to identify the right pieces to fit into the puzzle Guardiola needs to complete. The quick adaptation of new players to City's style of play will be crucial, especially with expectations for success so high in all competitions. The end of the season is approaching, and Manchester City continue their fight to stay in the race for titles. The pressure on Guardiola increases as he tries to adjust his squad and strategies for the second half. Pogba's arrival could be the decisive factor for City, but also a risk if not integrated correctly into the team. Guardiola's ability to manage egos and player expectations will be tested like never before, especially in a scenario where any failure could mean the difference between success and failure. Wirtz's situation with Leverkusen, in contrast to Pogba, demonstrates that City need a long-term plan to attract and develop talents. The ability to build a strong team of young players, such as Foden and Lewis, is crucial for City's future. City must invest in a more efficient scouting network and an academy that not only provides talent, but also fosters a winning culture. Wirtz's decision to stay at Leverkusen may be a temporary blow, but it is also an opportunity for City to learn from their mistakes and adjust their recruitment approach. Guardiola knows that Manchester City's future is on the line in the coming weeks. Managing the pressure that comes with the responsibility of turning City into a true European contender will be the ultimate test of his career at the club. The decision to sign Pogba and the need for other reinforcements show that City are willing to invest to maintain a high level of competitiveness. The key will be not only identifying the right players, but also integrating these additions into the tactical system and playing philosophy that Guardiola wants to implement. The 2024-25 season will be remembered as a period of challenges for City, but also as a turning point where Guardiola needs to prove that he is still the manager capable of leading the club to success. Adapting to the new style of play and managing talents will be essential to ensure that City not only survive, but thrive in an increasingly competitive environment. As the season unfolds, Guardiola will need to find solutions that go beyond simply acquiring new players, requiring him to build a team that can adapt and evolve over time. In this decisive period for Manchester City, Guardiola must not only adjust his squad but also find tactical and managerial solutions that can transform the team into a dominant force once again. If you enjoyed this content and want to keep up with the latest news on City and the world of football, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates. Until next time.